Now I have crazy hair. Hello, welcome to Flosstube. It might be episode 26, it might not be, and at this point, it's all good. I just recorded the knitting podcast. This weird thing that happens to my hair where I get like this weird wave thing, which would have been awesome if I were born in the 70s. I could do the whole Farrah Fawcett sausage curl, but I think that's who it was. I don't remember, but yeah, no, not a fan of it now. Anywho, I recorded the knitting podcast. This is the Flosstube podcast where I talk specifically about cross stitch. If you're coming from the knitting podcast, welcome back. If you're coming just for this, welcome. And I'm kind of crazy. I took a break. I had to make a doctor's appointment. It's gonna be bloody early. And it's for Tuesday, I think. Is it this Tuesday? Is it a day that is going to make me want to kill myself? Yes, it is this Tuesday. Lovely. It's really early in the morning, and I'm not a morning person. I'm going to be like half dead. Just for the record, it's going to be... that will be me. I will have notes made so I don't forget anything. Before we jump in, I didn't show this off on my knitting podcast. I was going to, but before we jump in, I'm going to show you this, which requires me to stand up. I apologize for the insanity, but I've been working on this. This is a finished quilt top. Oh, sorry. And it is part of a gift for it. It is a gift. It's an entire gift for my brother. It is a California king size t-shirt quilt consisting solely of Grateful Dead t-shirts that he has owned in his lifespan. This thing is huge. Okay, I'm 5'6". This is probably 6 feet, 7 feet long. It's massive. It needs its own zip code, but he wanted a massive quilt for his massive bed, so he and his wife would be warm and not fight over the sheets. Like, seriously. Okay, Kelly, look at this. This is half the size of it. Like, I'm trying to fold it up here. So, while my mother was down visiting, as she was recently, she helped me by ironing some stuff while I was working on it. Like, it's heavy. It's big, it's heavy. The backing... Now I'm going to pull back in. Yes, I know you love seeing my parts. So the backing, which was ordered, came in yesterday. I have in-laws coming in tonight. So my mom was here, as you saw last week. She left yesterday. In-laws come in tonight, and they're in here till Sunday. So no quilting's getting done, no dye. I keep doing that. It can't be helped. No dyeing is getting done. No quilting will be done. I will wash the backing probably today, get it washed and dried and ready. I am inserting another panel of t-shirts because I need that extra little bit in the middle to make, because otherwise I would have had to order like an extra 3 yards of fabric, and it's special ordered from Spoonflower. Mom bought it. It's kind of a joint present for my brother in that he gave me his shirts. I cut them out. I got them all ready. I backed them with, I think I used Penelon, something like that. Anyway, I backed them with a stiff interfacing because they're really old t-shirts. And then I ordered from Spoonflower a couple yards of the sashing, which you saw, which is the lightning bolt, the Grateful Dead lightning bolt. Mom paid for, because I can't afford the kind of yardage he needs, Mom stepped in and said, I will pay for the yardage for the specialty fabrics, and then it's a joint gift, which he was completely down for because my brother likes anything that's one of a kind. I actually cross-stitched him a Steal Your Face. Like, I charted it myself and I cross-stitched it a while ago, and then I framed it and gave it to him, and it's still, like, on his mantle in his house. So, the top is finally done. The backing is here. I will probably have to go to Joann's this week to pick up stuff. Well, not this week, this coming week, to pick up stuff. I need some more backing to finish up the t-shirt panel that will go in. And then I will put on the backing. I don't know if I'm going to make binding or if I'm just going to suck it up and get quilt binding. I hate making binding and I hate hand stitching binding on. I know I'm a cross stitcher, but I hate putting hand binding on. So I may just do, like, go and buy some quilt binding and bind it that way, because it makes life so much easier. And judging by how my brother is, I will probably have to change out the binding. Like, he'll probably wear it off at some point, so I'm thinking that I'm either gonna, like, take the backing, do the double flip, and then bind it on that way, and machine bind it down, or I'm gonna put a binding on it. One or the other. But it's so close to being done. I'm gonna have to go in the front yard to do this. I'm gonna have to, or the driveway, because there's no way there's enough space for a king size quilt in my house. There just isn't. Like, I took a video of it for Instagram, right? And I'm, like, doing across the top and across the bottom, and it still wasn't. And I had it, like, laying over the couch and going all the way down and coming out. Like, there's just no, it's an awkward size for my small house. And he has a really big house with a really big bed. Seriously, I think their room is the size of both the spare room and our master. And then they have, like, a huge closet and a huge bathroom. But I mean, whatever works. It's their house. We don't own our house. It would be different if we owned our house. Okay, so there's that. I've shown you that. I meant to show my knitting podcast and I didn't, so whatever. Today is the day of FOs on this place because I have two. Not just one, but two. Two. And I also have one for my husband. My husband finished his Nidoking. So here is his third Pokemon. And it is adorable. I keep thinking I should add. I know I've asked him where this is from, but he did not text me the answer. He's like, oh, you can look it up in my Etsy or whatever. It's not happening. Dear. Hold on. Sorry, the knitting thing just finished compressing and I had to do a bunch of stuff, and I figured if I paused it and restarted it, that would be better off, because I think I lost sound last time. I lost it on one of the 2 episodes and it's because of that. So, alrighty, moving into what I finished. One of the things I finished was my Growlithe Arcanine. And this is by Video Game X Stitch on Etsy. It's a very cheap pattern. I think I paid less than $3 for it. It takes like 5 or 6 colors, and it comes out so super cute. Look how cute he is. Look how cute he is. And as you can see, I still have a really large portion of this left. So I'm probably going to do evolutions on this piece, and then I'm probably going to do the cantos on this piece. I should have moved him over. He's so centered. So wasteful. But this was one of those like $3.99 pieces at Joann's. It's not an expensive piece. It is 18 count white Ada. Antique white, sorry. 18 count antique white Ada. And the pattern is the Growlithe Arcanine from Video Game X Stitch on Etsy. Like I said, I have a couple patterns from her name's Michelle, and I do want to do them, so they will probably get done. They're super easy. I like the pixelated graphic blocks that I get out of them, super fun. Right. My second finish, and it was actually my second finish, on 28 count white Lugana Even Weave, Charles Craft, you know the stuff you get at Michael's. I finished the first Terra Australis, and I used my Knitter's Nightmare silks, and the red gray is Temptress, and the purple is Purple Haze. And as you can see, I still have pretty much a whole half with nothing on it. So I will use that to do the other one. I'm going to do it with the dinky dies that came with it. And those are going to be Christmas presents for my brothers and their wives, respectively. And then they'll be the same. There's my back for you. Yeah, that's the back. That's the back. Bit of a hot mess, but I'm okay with that. You don't need to have pretty backs. I don't think anyway. No one's going to see it. If you mount it or you frame it, no one sees it. And even if you do pay to have it mounted or framed, who the hell cares what they think? Not me. I'm not obsessed with having a pretty back. Ooh, that could go many, many different ways. Many, many. So, last night I wanted to stitch, and I didn't want to start anything new. Because I am going to end this with the haul from Threadneedle Street. Oh my god. Oh my god. My mom spoiled me. She gave me and my husband each like a price that we couldn't exceed, and then we went crazy. Because she hasn't been here for a year, and she probably won't come back for another year. I'll probably go visit her at least once, but with our lives, it's kind of crazy. So, and I'll get to it in a minute, but I haven't decided which one I'm going to kit up first. I have the fabrics for all of them figured out, but I have not kitted up anything yet, and I am more than ready. Time. So I pulled this one out, and I haven't worked on it since Stitch Mania. It's called Friends Forever it's put out by Lena Lawson Needle Arts, featuring the artwork of Elena Ellis. And they're the cute little sheepies. Cute little sheepies. It doesn't have many threads. This is all the threads that were required for it, so I didn't even bother to bob it, like put them in a box or anything. I'm doing it on a 14 count, I want to say butter yellow Ada, just a scrap I had, and there is, okay, so his head was done, and his ear, and this little brown part right here, but I basically filled in this whole bottom portion, and then this little strip by his face. So the lighter gray and the medium gray I did all last night, and it was beautiful. I did it while listening to Undisclosed Season 2, of which I am obsessed. Husband was playing XCOM, which he loves, and it's not a very entertaining game for me to watch. So I said, would you mind? And he's like, nope. So I watched a couple podcasts. I watched Around the Twist with Karen, which if you're a Flosstuber, you probably haven't heard of, but she does have a section on her pointy things, which I love. It's mostly knitting and spinning, but there is cross stitch. And then I watched, who else did I watch? I finished watching Eclectic Possessions vlog, because I freaking love her. And then I think I was like, I just want to check up on Serial, so I did. I mean, on Undisclosed. Undisclosed came about because of Serial, the first season. Yeah, I'm just so obsessed. So, great fun. I'm really glad I pulled him back out because he's been so easy. For some reason, I see this as a him. Maybe it's because the cover's blue. Or he's got a little blue bag. They're just so stinking cute. The back stitch is going to be intense. But I actually don't mind backstitch, so I'm down with that. It's so cute. So cute. So that is what I worked on. Now, if you don't like haul, this would be the portion where you take off, but if you love haul, stick around. Because, yeah, I went a little crazy. Okay. I'm gonna turn this upside down and work my way through. Okay, so there were some freebie patterns that they had. So I picked this one up. Halloween Friends. And then they had a Mirabilia from the Cherub collection. It was a freebie. So, of course, thank you. I'm going to put these in here. Ta-da. Sorry for the shaking. So, freebies, always a good thing. And then, I have wanted this for quite some time. And they had it. Deco Spirits by Nora Corbett for Mirabilia. I was going to get the Queen Mermaid, but someone already snatched it from Kelly saying they had it. And she does have really well priced stuff, so I will definitely be going back there. It is a bit of a drive. It's like an hour and 40 minutes from me. But if you're already in Seattle, like if you're doing a day trip, for me, if I'm going to be in a day trip to Seattle, it's not that bad to drive out to Issaquah. But if I am not, then it's a fairly long drive. So I'm glad we made the trek with the day trip to Seattle. But I love these. Earth, Air, Fire, Water. And it does not call for any beads. It does have an asinine amount of Krennic. Of course, that makes complete sense. You need 5 spools of 9294, 4 spools of 014. You need blending filaments, and it calls for DMC metallic threads, but you know I'm switching that out for Petite Treasure Braid. You have to know that. It's not going to happen. No. So, and then you need multiple skeins of a couple colors. There's one blend, that's not too bad, but I really like it. I really, really, really like it. It's apparently 11 1/4 by 13 stitched over 32. I don't know that I'll do it on white, but how can you go wrong? How can you go wrong? You cannot go wrong. And then, you know, I honestly I can resist these on 1, 2, 3 stitch most of the time, but then I see them in person and I have to have them. So I picked up All Hallows Eve and Heads Up. Because what you may not know about me is I have a Halloween tree. And it is the cutest little Halloween tree, but I don't have any ornaments for it. So I thought I could make these, and I'd probably do them on something very small, like maybe a 40 count over 2. Approximate finished size is 2.5 by 2 inches on 32 count, so they're not going to be huge, and they will fit on my Halloween tree. And I thought they would be great decorations because they're so adorable, and I love the vintage Halloween feel. I friggin' love this cat. I love the cat. So these had to come home with me, right? Right? And they have ones on the back too. Like, you can't go wrong. You can't. This one has a little birdie that says nevermore. What? I know. And I do intend to get back on Hocus Pocus this week because I was like, it was a toss-up between the sheep and Hocus Pocus. It really was. Really close. Then I picked up one of these. I have been staring at Sue Coleman's work for quite some time. My husband picked up the wolf and I picked up Raven. It looks like a crow, and really any big black bird, and I'm there. But she's used some Haida artwork in here, which I also really love. She's from Gibson's. She's from BC. She's from the Vancouver Island, which is actually the closest part of BC to me. Like, I'm pretty close to the Port Angeles ferry, which goes to Victoria, which is the capital city on the island. Now, I have my moments where I'm like, she is not an Aboriginal person. Where do we stand on cultural appropriation in terms of this piece? But I honestly feel that there's no way she could be doing this long on Vancouver Island without having some respect or some approval from a local reserve or band, because up north in Canada you don't call them tribes. That's very offensive. But I'm super psyched about this one. I've been staring at them. A couple of these are going to have to come out of my wish list because they're on my wish list on 123 Stitch. Next up, I picked this up. I'm pretty sure I've seen this on a few podcasts. And there's a couple I've seen and I'm like, oh, I really like this. And it's Prairie Moon's The Red and the Black 2. There's no way to not get glare. Let me pull it out for you. This one is not as hard as the other one. This one's actually easy to pull out, comparatively. Okay. I'm just curious. Huh. And that's how it's charted. So, there we go. It is called for 40 count vintage autumn gold by Lakeside Linen using strands of silk. That's not going to happen. It's not. There are very few things I would stitch on a 40 count. This is not one of them. Nor am I going to use silks unless it's mine, and I really don't think any of my silks would lend themselves to this. And I haven't dyed any blacks or reds, have I? Phoenix is close, but I think I'm just going to do it out of DMC, which is more than acceptable. It does give you the alternate for DMCs. I find it funny that the red is 666, and I'm going to be doing it on this 35 count fabric. It is Peeps Lost Sheep linen. It's a 12 by 17 piece. I did do the math. I got this on sale at 123 Stitch. It was a clearance piece. I've never stitched on a 35 count. It's an odd count, but I'm okay with that, and I think the stitches will look really nice and defined. Now, when I was doing this with Mom, and she was like, oh no, that's going to be too dark. We actually pulled the colors from different patterns, because we had black and red, of course, and laid them on this, and it will look good. So after a floss, I believe that's what a floss toss is, don't quote me. I think that's what it is, and I think it's going to work out. So I'm really excited about that. Then I got this one, and I'm pretty sure Fiber Artsy has it. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure. I know she's doing one that's from the same person or the same thing. It's A Halloween Birthday by Kathy Barrick. And I love her. Look at her. Look at her. There's a cat, a bat. Come on. There's multiple bats. There's multiple cats. It's awesome. Now, it is charted in NPS, but that's not going to happen. I will be doing this in DMC because it's how I roll, yo. And apparently, I really have a thing for Kathy Barrick because she is... I just love this aesthetic on this. She also did the needle stitcher, the one Fiber Artsy's doing. So this one, I thought, would look great on this smoke gray linen. It's 28 count, 13 by 18. Again, this was a discount piece. It's very stiff. It's almost like mesh. But I'm okay with that. And I think that doing it on a darker color will help those bats and cats and everything pop out properly. And that's 28 count. And it tells you on the back. See, it tells you how big it will be over here. So, yay! I'll do that over 2 out of DMC eventually. And the last thing I picked up, because of course I'm a glutton. I'm such a glutton. And I think this might be the first thing I actually start working on, because I'm just really into it. I'm really into it for some reason. And it looks super simple, and it is also by Kathy Barrick, because apparently I'm a fangirl, and it's called Dear Heart. It's very retro. I love the retro. It's so pretty. And of course it was charted in NPS and stitched on 40 count. That's not happening. I will be using DMC, not needlepoint silk, and I will be stitching it not on 40 count. I will be doing 32. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 9 colors in here, which is actually quite pleasant. And I will be doing it on this 32 count Plum Street Paddock linen, which is very neutral. Hold on. It's very neutral, and that's pretty true. So they'll look great together. And all 3 of those pieces of fabric I got on sale on the clearance fabrics at 1, 2, 3 Stitch. Yes. So, excitement. I have not cast any on though, because I'm waiting patiently to kit. I have to go get the DMC, which I will probably do sometime, either, I don't know, I don't think my in-laws will want to go, so probably we'll wait until next week when I can go pick up the stuff for the quilt. I will pick up the DMC for at least 2 of those, maybe more, and they will be started really, really quickly. In the meantime, I'm going to work on the Friends Forever and probably put Hocus Pocus back in the ring as a contender for the next little bit. Threadneedle Street is really awesome in Issaquah if you're in the area, or if you can do a day trip. I highly recommend it. It's a very tiny tiny space. Kelly was very right. It's very tiny and it's very claustrophobic feely, but it's totally worth it because there's awesome stuff and it is well priced. It's not ridiculously priced. So I support it. In the meantime, that is everything I have to report for you. And I should probably get going because I have a stove to clean. Until next week, happy stitching!